what were the ratings for this broadcast? And that, because we've asked this before also, and I don't know why we haven't done this before. We know it's a 3-hour program, and ever since they started 3 hours, there is attrition in hour 3 from people just either burning out on it or you're fighting sleep as you go toward 11 o'clock. But in the old days, in the popular days when the program had high viewership, we gained toward the end because the main event was Undertaker, Austin, Rock, Triple H, Foley, whatever the case. AEW's pattern has been that they lose a large chunk of what they start with. WWE doesn't normally lose that big of a percentage. Where were they at on Raw?
Well, let's talk about the ratings for Raw. We get a lot of requests because we do talk about the ratings for Dynamite to do a comparison and also show the other side, so we'll do that here. These were compiled by Brandon Thurston from WrestleNomics. Raw's overall rating was 2,114,000 viewers. Segment 1, which was Cody Rhodes' promo interrupted by the Judgment Day, 2,307,000 viewers.
Okay. So they start off pretty straight. What is their lead-in?
I was about to ask you if you knew. What's the lead-in for Raw?
I don't know.
Is it like Law and Order or CSI?
Crime and Punishment?
Yeah, one of those shows.
I have no idea, but we got to investigate this further. But go ahead.
Segment 2, 8:15 to 8:30. The continuation of the segment from before with Cody Rhodes, the Judgment Day. Edge comes in. Also, Seth Rollins versus Chad Gable, including picture-in-picture. 2,175,000 viewers.
Okay, so again, I think they hung out for probably the end of that promo and then saw Shoosh Boy come into the ring and said, all right, we can make a sandwich or do whatever.
Segment 3, 8:30 to 8:45 p.m. The final several minutes of Rollins versus Gable, as well as Candice LeRae versus Io Sky and picture-in-picture. 2,218,000 viewers.
And they came back when they got rid of Gable. So again, we're in a range of 130,000 viewers, which is somewhere, just math off the top of my head, around 7 or 7.5% of the audience. So this is kind of normal fluctuation.
Segment 4, 8:45 to 9 p.m. Candice LeRae versus Io Sky with another picture-in-picture, as well as, it says here, recap. I don't know what was recapped. 2,177,000 viewers.
And they went right back to where they were in quarter 2. So, but again, same range, same fluctuation.
The 9 o'clock hour, 9 o'clock to 9:15, segment 5.
And that's where Rhea Ripley was in the ring.
That's right, Rhea Ripley live promo, as well as Seth Rollins' backstage promo. 2,259,000 viewers.
So they picked up 82,000 at the top of the hour with that strategy.
And the way I see it, more than 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock is where you got to hook people so they'll be there at the end.
Yeah. And also 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock to some extent, but 9 o'clock, the homes using television level is still higher. So when there's switching around, that's why the theory is you want somebody important or something interesting going on to, if somebody checks in, well, let's see what the fuck. Oh, shit, there's The Rock. I won't go any further. If they tune in to see Johnny Sameface, they go, well, let me see what's on the fucking Turner Classic or whatever.
Well, speaking of which, segment 6, 9:15 to 9:30 p.m., Johnny Gargano versus Baron Corbin, including picture-in-picture. 2,162,000 viewers.
So they dropped 97,000 on Sameface.
Segment 7, 9:30.
And by the way, that's the first time they've broken the range they were in for the first hour. They're 13,000 lower than the quarter 2.
Segment 7, 9:30 to 9:45 p.m. MVP's VIP Lounge with Austin Theory, as well as Bobby Lashley coming in there, and a Finn Balor backstage promo, 2,189,000 viewers.
They get some names in, they get another 27,000 people.
Segment 8, 9:45 to 10 p.m., The Miz's live promo, as well as him versus Rick Boogs. The Maximum Male Models backstage angle with Alpha Academy.
I was fast forwarding.
Maybe other people were too. 2,062,000 viewers.
Ooh, so now they've lost another 127,000, and they are, they're 245,000 below where they started. They put the job squad in. All right.
Well, segment 9, the 10 o'clock hour, 10 o'clock to 10:15 p.m. Becky Lynch and Bayley's promo battle, as well as Dakota Kai getting beat up. 2,080,000 viewers.
A slight fluctuation there, 18,000 different. So that's the second hour, and we start the third hour.
Segment, I believe this would be 10:15 to 10:30 p.m. Adam Pearce's backstage promo and Dolph Ziggler versus Bronson Reed. 1,973,000 viewers.
Ooh. See, this is where fatigue would start to set in, and even if you're wanting to see the main event, you know it's going to be a while. But that's the first time they've dropped below 2 million in 2 hours.
Segment 11, 10:30 to 10:45 p.m. Asuka and Carmella's backstage angle, as well as Boogs, Elias, and Street Profits backstage angle.
Yeah, I skipped all that shit.
And Balor versus Cody Rhodes starting. 1,885,000 viewers. And finally...
No, wait a minute. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, I'm sorry. Hold on. Where'd I put my... that's what happened. I grouped that in there with that, and that's with that. So, yes. So now, the last quarter 12.
Quarter 12, 10:45 to 11 p.m., the main event, which started in the previous segment, Finn Balor versus Cody Rhodes. 1,880,000 viewers.
So that's interesting. Basically, whoever hung out for the main event stayed with it. There was 5,000 people difference out of almost 2 million in quarters 11 and 12, so they didn't tune it out. So AEW does not have, WWE does not have that, at least in this instance, like AEW has, where they just continue to plummet toward the end. But at the same time, you can see that they'd be so much better off, besides for the rights fee, if this was a 2-hour program. They were not below 2 million people one time in the first 2 hours, and then they still only lost from start of hour 3 to finish of hour 3. They lost exactly 200,000 viewers, which is basically 10% of what they started with. And in AEW, it's more like 30 or 30 or 25 or 30 or 35%, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
If you start out a show hot with Cody doing that promo, and you know you're more than likely going to have more viewers there than maybe anywhere else in the show, just because of the lead-in and everything else. And the main event's not going to start until 10:45-ish. Should there be something done at 9 o'clock where you have people checking out the show? Not just a recap, but should there be a fresh angle or promo or something that applies to what started earlier and what will finish at the end, just to draw people in who are just coming?
Yeah, well, remember, they used to do that. Again, there would be some... Here's part of the problem is, if back in the Attitude Era that everybody looks back fondly at, the thing that they would do to freshen up the statement that, and of course it wasn't 3 hours then, but the statement that was made in the match that was made at the beginning, in between the main event, there'd be somebody'd be attacked in the parking garage or in the locker room. Well, they can't do that anymore because they do it every fucking week, multiple times. Or some event would happen where a guy was going in with a handicap. Well, that happens constantly. They've shot themselves in the foot with doing everything they used to do all the time with everybody, regardless of their import on the roster, to the point where they, and so they just flow shit. If somebody's out there, we'll let them just naturally flow into something else and we'll end this thing sooner or later. And yeah, so in 3 hours, people, if they weren't there at the start, and of course, there were more people watching the start of the program than there were at the start of the third hour, but maybe there were still some different ones. See, yeah, you're right, but there's how many different ways can you do the same thing they've been doing for 20 fucking years? Sometimes you just got to make the matches real important, and you could, instead of all the constant talking that the writers write for people who can pull it off in varying degrees of success, maybe they ought to just go back for locker room interviews where a guy gets 2 minutes to fucking fire people up about what he's going to do in an hour and a half. But I don't know.
Well, certainly I think a lot of people would agree that Raw needs a renovation. But I think I could speak for a lot of the listeners where a lot of people need renovations in their own home. Forget about on their Monday Night Wrestling program.
They might need renovations in their own home, or they might need renovations in somebody else's home. Let's say you go to visit somebody quite often and they got a shithole and you're not comfortable. You might want to go in there and fix some things up the way you like it. Regardless, Brian, nobody talks more about home remodeling and renovation and repair and etc. than you and I do. Over the past 5 years, you renovated your old house and then sold it and got a bigger house, and now you're starting from scratch. And I'm constantly adding on to the castle, never subtract, always add on, changing shit. Remember last year I had walls down, taken out. 2 whole rooms renovated over the last year. They're almost finished there. But now, with the new information I've got, this year I may take 3 walls out of my house. I can't wait to see what we're going to do this year, because now our new friends at West Shore Home have come on board with the program here. They're the fastest growing shower and bath remodeling company in the United States. Have you seen these TV commercials? You're up there in an enclave in New Jersey. I don't think they've gotten to the northern part of the state yet, but the TV commercials are all over the place, and this is a slick operation they got here. They will fully replace your old shower or bathtub in just 1 day. And they even show you how they do it with the time-lapse photography. It's amazing. What you do is you schedule a free in-home remodeling review, and they come to your house, and they'll make it convenient for you. They do mornings, afternoons, evenings, weekends. One guy showed up at 4 o'clock in the morning carrying a fucking bathtub on his back.
That wasn't West Shore Home. I'm sorry.
Was that just a itinerant midnight to 6 a.m. door-to-door bathtub salesman?
That was North Shore Dave, not West Shore Home.
Oh, shit, that's the problem. Well, don't open the door if they come at 4 a.m., folks, but they will bring their design consultant, and you get to build your dream shower or bath just the way you want it. They've got laser-etched designs, built-in seats, shelves, doors, windows, magnetic shower heads. You can take these magnetic shower heads, stick them on anything. Go down the street, stick them on a stop sign. Guy pulls up next to it, fucking whole car gets washed. It's amazing.
Yeah, don't do that.
Well, then a couple of days after they design all this, the remodeling professionals do a 1-day bath replacement that's fast, easy, and convenient. Actually, it's fast, easy, and convenient for you, the customer. For them, it's a pain in the ass because they're specialists, and they got to get in there and get out of there with whatever they run into in the allotted time. So it's a pain in their ass, but you don't care. They take out the old shower bath, they install the new one, they do the cleanup. It can be ready to use before dinner. So whatever kind of dinner you're going to have that you prepare in a fucking bathtub, you're going to be able to do it that same night, and you don't have to lift a finger.
You can make vodka in a bathtub.
Well, gin is recommended, unless it's a Russian-made bathtub.
Well, there you go.
Generally, you make gin in a bathtub.
Or vodka. You can make vodka in a bathtub.
You can, but it's not recommended.
It's not recommended to make gin in a bath. Who recommends that?
Well, it's a fine accompaniment to making meth under your fucking kitchen sink, but nevertheless, West Shore Homes is going to fix your bathroom up to where you're not going to want to do any of that stuff in your bathroom. You're going to be out doing the bathtub gin and making the meth out in the backyard or in the garage. Anyway, so I mentioned the fine folks at West Shore Home are going to do all this. And once again,
they're going to do well, let's just clarify. What are they going to do?
They're going to do what I just said. They're going to take out your old shower or bath. They're going to put you a brand new one in. It's state of the art.
Yes.
It's the space age technology. They're going to do it in one day. You're going to have it ready for you before dinner. That's what they're going to, and they're going to come out and they're going to show you what they're going to do before they do it. Kind of like Danny Hodge used to, when he would tell a guy how he was going to take him down, and then he'd take him down that way even though the guy knew it was coming. That's what they're going to do, just like that. And now more than ever, people around the country are going to be able to make these services available to themselves because West Shore Home is expanding. If you live in or around or in the vicinity of Louisville, Lexington, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, Pittsburgh, Harrisburg, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Richmond, Salisbury, Virginia Beach, Winston-Salem, Charlotte, Greenville, Asheville, Knoxville, Chattanooga, Charleston, Wilmington, Myrtle Beach, Greenville, New Bern, Columbia, Atlanta, Jacksonville, Orlando, Ocala, Tampa, Birmingham, Huntsville, Montgomery, Oklahoma City, Houston, Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, Phoenix, Denver, Colorado Springs, and Salt Lake City. I've been everywhere, man. That's right. I've been everywhere. It sounds like a Mid-South Wrestling booking sheet. If you are anywhere around those places, then you got to right now call West Shore Home. And they do windows and doors too. That's what I'm waiting for because I can't wait. See, I'm not going to have the windows taken out right now because it's cold outside. I'm waiting till it perks up a little bit. I'm doing interior stuff now. Then I'm going to do exterior stuff. But like I said, by the time the year is over, West Shore Home is going to dismantle my entire house, and they can do the same thing for you. Windows, doors, bathrooms. Good heaven, Bill, you ought to see the urinals they can put in also in the bathrooms. They're amazing.
The Dick the Bruiser Special, they call it.
The Dick the Bruiser Special, yes. And they've got flavored urinal cakes. So right now, check out their website to see which locations that you can request their free window and door remodeling preview. And again, happiness, just a phone call away. Check out promo.westshorehome.com/Jim and get the fastest, easiest, and most convenient home remodeling experience that you'll ever have. I'm so glad I found these people because the Monroe brothers, they may be on the unemployment line now that I've found the folks at West Shore Home. Again, promo.westshorehome, WESTSHORE home.com/Jim. And you'll figure it all out.
How do you think they're going to take to West Shore Home, the Monroe brothers? They're going to see them as competition? Are they going to embrace someone doing other repairs around Castle Cornette?
Here's the thing. The West Shore Home people, they don't dig holes out in the backyard. They just work on your home. So I'm just going to send the Monroes out to dig a big hole in the backyard. By the time they climb out of it, all the work will be done. WestShoreHome.com.
That's right, WestShoreHome.com.